Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline on location at the Bethel Park Historical Society, 2600 South Park Road. It's the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center with a white and red trolley out there in the front. No, it's not a T for all you young folks. I'm older, so I know. I rode those trolleys. They rumbled and they got us into town. That's all I cared about. So, and I didn't say downtown. But we appreciate it here. I wanted to honor the Historical Society and promote them on this. It's a great 1905 schoolhouse. I think it's the first high school in Bethel Park, and it was remodeled completely. We came in here, and I'm going to have my first guest, Bill Haberther, with the Bethel Park Historical Society. He was working here, knocking walls out and everything else, and told me to go up the back stairs. So with no further ado, let's bring up Bill Haberther. How you doing? Nice to see you. Hold the mic a little below you.
Okay.
And we're good to tell them your name. I gave you the intro. Did I do all right?
You did. Bill Haberther. I'm the secretary on the board of directors of the Bethel Park Historical Society. Welcome to our building. We're very excited to have you tonight.
I love it here. We got a nice cool breeze. We got these old antique fans here, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah. And, you know, we're actually in the auditorium, which this part of the building was built in 1905, and it has, this room
It's the original.
It's the original. And this room has special significance to you and I because we're trustees on the Bethel Park Community Foundation, and the foundation had donated $20,000 to do the renovation for this particular room.
Look how this room looks with us, and look at these windows. Old-time windows. Look at the size of it.
How many windows are in this building?
50 windows?
That would take care of one floor. There are 107 in this building.
Wow, I never got that number before.
Yep. And there was an addition built in 1917 for the back half of the building.
Right.
So it's about 12,000 square feet. And over the past 5 years, we've raised over $1 million.
You set the program, and that's why I have you on here. He's one of the few people that keeps his word, and he motivated all of us in Bethel Park.
Well, you know, the first time I met you was at Community Day, which is coming up in a couple more weeks in September. But you stopped by the booth, and we did a little promo, and that's the first time we met.
I asked everybody, would you talk about the Bethel Park Historical Society? I'm a history guy. They all turned me down, and then this guy I never met.
I stepped up to the fore. Well, I did this in New York City. I graduated in 1978 from Bethel Park, went to Carnegie Mellon, and the wind just shut one of our doors.
That was a ghost.
You know, we have the paranormal group here.
I know, our guy Bo.
Yeah, and we have a couple more fundraisers in September and October. But, you know, it's been a great experience. As I said, we raised over $1 million. We've completely renovated the building.
From the coal furnaces all the way up.
All the way up to the attic.
Because remember, I was here with Andy Amrine in the
way
furnace.
back in the beginning. Yeah. But, you know, it's been great. Not only have we renovated the building, but we've turned it into a cultural center for the community and a history museum for the Coverdale and the Mulliner mines. We have a coal miners museum. We have a military museum in the old principal's office. We also have a classroom museum. And plus, we're a venue for corporate and private events.
Sure.
So we've done hundreds of birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers. We've actually had 2 weddings up in this auditorium, which has been fantastic.
It's great. Look at the size of it. It's easy to get to, easy to get out. We just came up the back steps, and it was perfect.
You know, and thank you for that, because actually, as you mentioned, we're here Tuesdays and Thursday nights for the past 5 years.
Yes.
And tonight, actually, we were taking down a wall on the main staircase, which was added in the 1970s to encapsulate the first floor.
Makes sense. You're taking it back to original.
Exactly. Just like this room, at one point in time, they added a wall, and we tore it down to have the 1905.
I think I remember seeing that up here. It was
a
terrible.
mess, yeah.
And how about the ceiling?
It used to be a tin ceiling, which was great, but it rusted because there was a hole in the roof, so it was beyond repair. So we literally gutted it to the studs.
And the Community Foundation donated $20,000 to get you here.
Yeah. That's how we have many fundraisers during the course of the year. We challenge people if they wanted to have a room named after them. It's $10,000 a room.
Sure.
We sold out on all of our rooms. We've had state grants thanks to John Marr and Natalie Mahalik.
Right.
So we have heating and air conditioning on the first and second floors. New roof. We bought back the bell. It's
What
in
about the
Coupland.
cupola? My
Yep,
favorite, the
exactly.
cupola
It
with
was
the original
restored.
bell.
Yep, that came back. So that's all wonderful. And we just, I actually brought a few things to show you.
I'm hoping we can get to it.
Yeah, from our military museum, and because it's a
I'm
sports show.
going to give you these,
Okay.
and then we're going to bring up my friend here.
And that's Mr. Elmer Henry Hoff Sr. And he literally, over our shoulder, lived up the street here across from the community center on Park Avenue.
Let's check with Josh. Can he see
That's from World War I.
Mr. Elmer?
Mr. Hoff.
Mr. Hoff. Okay, I got
and
names.
we actually have his son's uniform too from World War II.
You showed that to me
Yeah.
the other day. That's so cool.
So it's just, it's wonderful that we have this military.
Wow, this is scratchy. How did they wear this?
Could you imagine?
It's
all
heavy.
wool.
Here, I can
actually
feel that
jumpers.
material.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
But,
scratchy.
because it's a sports show, I thought you'd
What do you
be
have?
particularly interested in this. This is the basketball team from 1934.
Whoa, we're going to get Josh on a close-up if he can. I'm not sure what camera. Just guide me there, Josh. Okay. We're flexible. Whatever works. Can you get this? This is so cool. My dad was a great basketball referee.
Really?
I have a picture of him when he was playing basketball in 1949.
Oh, that's cool.
He was like 18 years old.
And then this is the team from 1935.
Wow. We'll pause a little there, let them get a little pick.
And the wonderful thing about this is every week, literally, somebody's dropping something off.
That is so cool.
Which is great, because, we're the repository for the history of the community.
I love these pictures and look in front of the school.
That's the school next door. That's the 1934 football team.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's get that up there. Thanks for bringing these in.
Oh, yeah, my
I
pleasure.
appreciate it.
So
You're the man.
We've got we've got yearbooks going back to 1932, which was the first Beacon yearbook.
Wow.
All the way up to the current year.
Ah, is this great? Those are great pictures.
Yeah. So we're here Tuesdays and Thursday nights from
And
5:30
what do you
to 8
do?
o'clock.
What's everybody do here?
A little bit of everything. Tearing down walls, cleaning up.
I get a
anything and
question.
everything.
You were a Wall Street guy.
Yes.
When did you become handy?
You do projects with your dad when you're growing up. You
Yes.
start off holding the
Well,
flashlight,
not
right?
my dad. He wasn't handy.
No?
He had friends come over. We had a basement put in, paneled and everything.
Yep.
And they designed it. My bedroom was near the furnace, 10 foot by 10 foot. That was my bedroom. My three sisters had normal bedrooms. That's why I'm
Did you have
like
a
I am.
window?
No. That's why I'm like I am.
In New York City, that would be considered an illegal bedroom.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
this was born,
Probably in Bethel, too.
I'm thinking when I was maybe like 1965.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, they put me
But
up
see,
there when
it's-
I was 9 years old.
it didn't do
Imagine
any
what it did to me. All right, enough of that.
But no, we have a lot of stuff here for the public to see.
But
and
you've been
view.
digging in with all of them, let alone doing fundraising,
Right.
raising money,
Renovating a building.
Right.
Creating parties. So it's really
and
it's been
mingling
a lot
with
of
the
work.
public.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And getting out there and telling our story, which is so important, because it's really been the residents and the local businesses that have supported us with
Right.
that $1 million
Right.
and some state
We just have a
grants.
great community that chips in.
And so
when you
supportive.
ask, they help.
Exactly.
And you don't stop asking.
I don't, but Al, it's a good story, and people when they see the results of what we've done, and they come in and they admire the building.
Guess
And
who
it brings-
sold on it?
Yeah, whom? You
Me.
are. You always support.
And
us.
guess what? I want to write a $100 check,
I'll take it.
and I'm buying a brick. I want Alan Levine, the talking machine.
machine?
So
Okay.
when you get me the form, or you can write it in,
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Wait, you're going to give me a blank check and I can write it in?
No, wait. Let
you
me
heard it, everybody.
hold it. Let me show
I-
right here.
$1 million. I
I'm
can still
donating.
Name the building.
I'm donating. Whoa, I don't know about the account. I'll
Yeah.
go like that. I'm an honest man, not like Smoking Jim.
Hey.
Oh, sorry. Smoking Jim isn't here. He's in the hospital. Prayers for him.
Yeah.
And I hope he gets back soon. And we don't know what's wrong with him because he's too private. And I respect that.
HIPAA.
Josh, did you get that? $100. I'll add the signature,
Okay.
and you can stamp it.
Bethel Park Historical Society, and we welcome donations. You know, I'm never shy of taking cash or a check.
Well, how'd I do?
Very well. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so all the donations are tax deductible, and you can come and see what we've actually done. You know,
And I do, and we have meetings every 2 months.
Yep, with the foundation, and we have our community outreach program. In the winter months, the seniors come to get their taxes done. We have the blood bank comes the first Tuesday of every month, so please donate blood. Always best to make an appointment, and you can go to our Facebook page at Bethel Park Historical Society to get a list of all of our current events and check out all the pictures of where we were and the latest acquisitions that we've received.
That was great. My donation. It's official.
Thank you.
Get us both there.
Over here. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
And thank you for being a great guest. And
My
we're going to
pleasure.
tell you to get the heck out of here.
All right, on to the next guest.
Yes.
Thanks for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you at Community Day.
Yes, you
September,
will. Yes,
okay?
you will.
And
You
don't
know I got to
forget-
interview everybody.
And then don't forget, we have Bethel's Bounty in November.
Bring that
so
out.
there's a lot of activities that are coming up in Bethel Park over the fall. So please stay tuned.
And,
Thank you.
And we're hooked up with her, and we're trying to put it all out there for you. And Bethel Park and other communities are welcome.
Amen.
Okay.
All right, take care. Thanks, Al.
All right. Cindy and Dave, you want to come up together?
Now, are we live? We're not live right now, right?
Well, we're filming this live on Facebook Live. This is how the talking machine runs Pittsburgh Sportsline. We have little pauses for the cause. We may have to add to your timer or take off, but we'll add a minute or two on there, so you can figure that out. All right, we'll let you share the mics.
Sharing.
My next guests, I promote them every time on my show on Tuesday nights, and I end each show in honor of their son Joey, who died of brain cancer, DIPG. How many years ago is it now? 8?
8.
And he had a catchphrase, and they use it, "Stay Joey strong." So when you hear it, we're honoring little Joey Fabus, who's looking down on us and proud of his parents. Please tell us your name.
I'm Cindy Fabus.
I know you, and you've been great, and I'm in shock, and I'm honored. Hand the mic to that guy. First, look at his shirt. Joey Fabus's dad and his mom are right here. And guess what? We have a trifecta. Joshua is on the cameras, filming and making us look great. Thank you for coming out. First time I've ever done an interview legit with David Fabus. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thanks.
Just take a deep breath.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're welcome.
We
You
appreciate
guys, I just have to share this. They're my heroes. They lost 2 children. I only have 2 children. If I lost one, I don't know what I'd do, but I have heroes here that are doing great things and have raised, I'll say, over $100,000 to find a cure. And they introduced me to Dr. Gary from Children's Hospital last year, and they said they're on the path to getting a cure. So no further ado, tell us, Dave, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
And
Glad
thank
to be
you.
here.
Oh, I'm glad to have you on. This is a first.
I'm
A
glad we have
Pittsburgh
great
line
support
force. Yes.
Everybody for the foundation and keep it running. Hold this a little closer for John.
Yeah, just hold it under your chin there and we're good. You can talk. We've talked on the side. And not only do I have a kidney transplant, my 3-year anniversary is September 13th. It was a lucky Friday 3 years ago when I got it. My son gave me a great kidney. Dave is 1 year ahead of me on a transplant. He He suffered with heart disease and needed a new heart. I saw it and how bad he looked. No offense
Yes,
meant.
I know.
And I always said, you're in my prayers. I didn't know how bad it was. 4 years ago, he got a new heart. Look at him. He's looking great. You look great, sound great.
I'm in great shape.
And I heard you're doing other work and things. You're
Yes.
back to using a hammer.
Yeah.
So
Hammer, every kind of tool you can imagine.
I can't even ask because I'm not handy. I
Yeah.
sold home remodeling a few years ago. I told a customer, I just found out which side of the hammer I use. And they believed me because it was true. So carry on. What do you have for me today?
We have the flyer for the 5K.
You want me to hold it up?
You can hold it up because the camera's, or I can hold it up.
I'll hold it up so you relax and stay calm and cool, and you're doing great.
I'm good.
I'm pumped up to
I'm
have
not
you on
answering any
here.
questions, so I'm good.
Well, I didn't even ask you where you're born and if you went to KO and all that stuff because you gave me a great compliment today.
That's right.
All right, this is, tell us what this is.
This is the flyer for our 5K.
Notice it wasn't a question.
Yeah. For
Okay.
September 18th
What
at
day is
Bethel
it?
Park High School. It's a
Sunday?
Sunday.
And we film it.
The race is 9 p.m. You
9
can
a.m.
9 a.m.
That's why you're here, Mom.
Registration, you can do it online at jfccf.org.
Tell them what you donate because it's a superhero run walk. And tell them what you donate because I'd rather get it out to people and I know they can afford it. If you have the extra money, tell them how much.
What we donate it to?
No, how much they need to donate to be in the race.
$35 is the price.
25.
25 right now.
I'm glad you're here,
Sorry,
Cindy.
Jeff's the boss for that.
All right, 25
$25
bucks.
to register right now.
That's adults.
Yes.
Children.
$15. Yeah. I don't remember all this stuff.
Well, I
That's
was
why we
trying.
have Jeff here.
I was trying not to ask questions. I was going, "What's on sheets?" I'm going to let them read it. Darn it. Let me see.
You're good.
No, we're good. And there's pictures there. I've done interviews each year, except when I got out of the hospital a week before. I wasn't quite able
Yeah,
to
you had
make
the
it.
replacement that came.
She was great.
Yes, she was.
Amy's the best.
Yeah.
Amy Taylor, and she just lost a husband, this summer.
Wow.
Prayers to her.
Yeah, sorry
These
to hear
things
that.
happen in life. We take it for granted, but live each day as it's your last, and we'll do that. Hold it. What kind of colorful thing, this is a question, do you have for me? I'll
Well,
grab it.
It's not the exact colors because my printer doesn't print well. But
Okay, I'm nervous
This is
then.
the logo for the shirt this year, which is going to be Batman. Every year we honor.
And you know Smokin' Jim's nickname, because he leaves events early, is Batman.
Oh,
They
nice.
always go, "Where's Batman?" We go, "He's gone."
Yeah.
I learned that 11 years ago.
So Batman's on it this year. Last year we had a shirt covered all the superheroes from the last 6
Well,
years.
was that okay, Josh? Okay. No, that is great.
Yeah. So
Can you get a close-up on your dad's shirt? Cut his head off. Not literally or physically.
I have-
So those are the logos.
yeah, these are all the logos from the previous races.
Oh, I like Spider-Man's my
The biggest
favorite.
superheroes in the middle, of course.
Oh, Joey, definitely. Amen.
Yes.
No doubt about that. Cindy, what can you
Yes.
add to this? Because he took the ball and ran with
did.
it.
I'm
I
proud
can
of
ask you
him.
questions.
You can ask me questions.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Very good.
And I know you're a nurse and you're in your career and doing great things with that,
Yes.
and then doing all this stuff too, and being a
Right.
great spokesman or spokeswoman.
Yeah, we got to do it, right? It's time consuming, but it's well worth it. We've been doing it since, we've had a foundation since right after Joey passed away in 2015.
And why did you even do it? Because I like to ask people
Yeah.
that stuff. Why?
Well, I mean, you
What
want
were your
his,
thoughts?
initially our thought is his legacy needed to live on, number
No,
one.
that's what I'm talking
Right.
about when parents are proud of their children
Right.
like you are.
Right.
You didn't have them for trophies.
We need
Right.
the support that we got from people during his.
Right.
You wanted
And-
to carry that
we
on.
wanted to carry that, help other people, because we knew what it was like to,
Right.
need
Lose.
that support. Even, just emotional support was amazing.
No, it means so much.
We met so many kids.
Yeah, let
Sorry.
him talk. He's good.
We met so many kids
What did
during
you give
time.
him? What did you feed him?
I'm not going all the way through. But while Joey was sick, we met other kids who were also sick with DIPG.
I know, I've heard that.
And you quickly learn what they need, and you want to help them. So we had a lot of people that would help us do different things for these kids in other states. We had
No,
a
it's-
Lamborghini dealership in Washington D.C. He loved Lamborghinis, but he couldn't go there to take a ride. So
Wow. No, that's
I'll
enough
take
for
over.
yeah. Please take over because I got him to a point where I didn't want him there. We're trying to keep it loose. But no, thank you for sharing that because I'm always positive. So I can't say I would be like you guys, but I know I would feel that way.
Right.
Because we never know until you're in that house on fire or you lose somebody. You never know. And it's heartbreaking to me and it touched my heart when I heard about it. I saw him at the police station. I don't know if you guys ever knew, but Dave Cable said Joey was going, to be policeman of a day. He goes, would you think about putting him on? I go, put him on right now. And he goes, we can't. They're too busy there. But I offered any time he could be on my show.
Oh.
That was, and you never knew that, but I told Dave Cable that.
Yeah.
Because that's how it struck me. I was thunderstruck by
Right.
that, truly. And I appreciate what you're doing
Yeah.
and sharing this. And
It's something you have to do. I mean, when something like that happens, you can't just you can't walk away from the situation. So whenever we formed the foundation, that was our goal, to help other people, help them get through
and
their
you've done
tough
this.
times.
You've done it. And then I wanted to bring out, tell them how many kids you have. Because
we
not
have-
just Josh.
Yes, I have 4 right now. I have Clarissa, my oldest, Olivia,
Yeah.
Josh, who's
Didn't you
here
have
with
a
us
wedding
today,
recently?
and Nick. Yes, we did. We had
And
a wedding
how
in
did
November.
Nick get so big?
I don't know.
And he's on the Black Hawk football team. I got high expectations.
Yeah, we hope. We'll see.
Well, he's never given up and he keeps trying.
That's right. That's all we can ask.
Yes,
Yes.
that's all we want.
Yes. But yeah, that's what we do. And again, like you mentioned, Dr. Gary Cohenbosch
Yeah.
from Children's Hospital.
I didn't want to mispronounce his name.
Oh, that's okay.
Cohenbosch, because I would have just said Bosch or something. But
Well, the important thing with his work is that years ago, Pittsburgh really wasn't on the forefront in that type of research. There's a lot of other wonderful
well, we have, look at
researchers.
transplants, what
Right.
we're known for with Starzl and everybody else in Pittsburgh, and look at our R&D with health.
Right.
In other cities, like my daughter said, Dad, you don't realize how lucky you are. If you're in central PA, what hospital would you go to, Philly or Pittsburgh?
Right.
Here, I'm right here. And I complain about Oakland, but I got an appointment on the 7th, I'm going.
Yeah,
So-
we
Yeah.
were very fortunate to, in an unfortunate situation, we were fortunate to
You got
have
the best of care.
Pittsburgh here, right?
Yeah.
Because we met people who had to travel, and there was no way I was going anywhere else. I mean, we were, like I said, it's home based. We're right here in Pittsburgh. We have great
Right.
hospitals. Why would we go? So we were blessed that we did not have to leave the state
Right.
or go across the state for that matter, or other part of the country just to seek treatment. So it's important to us to support Dr. Cohenbosch.
Yeah. And
We
he's
have a lot
doing
of-
great things.
He is doing a lot of great things.
And they're going to find a cure. There's
We-
no doubt in my mind.
hope
I
and
believe
pray.
power of prayers.
That's right.
More prayers for Joey.
Yeah,
And if you
thank
can
you.
help the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, I tell people as little as $1, or if you can afford $10 and change, or $5 or 20, or if you can give 1,000, guess what? Send it. That's how simple. We all know things are tight. Look at the crazy times we're alive to talk about it, and things have changed. But we can still help others like this. I just wanted to ask, where'd you grow up?
I grew up right here in Bethel Park.
I didn't know. I thought so, but I would never ask you that question.
Yeah.
A Pittsburgh Sportsline first.
Right.
You grew up here. I won't ask you. I never ask women how old they are. So
Old enough.
6 children old.
Old enough.
you're cracking me up. Well, my hair used to be dark at one time, and I'm happy I have it. My poor son goes, "Why'd I get Mom's hair?"
Oh,
Because of her dad. So he's losing his hair. He tells me to get a haircut all the time.
Probably not happy we're talking about it either.
No, that's why I talk about it. Makes them stronger. But that's part of it. No, thanks for sharing that. And where'd you go to college?
I got my nursing degree at community college, and then I went on to get my bachelor's
You're
degree at
smart
Duquesne.
because it's cheaper at
It
community.
is. It's cheaper, but then I
It gets
went to
you there.
Duquesne, which was a little bit of a different story.
Well, I won't say it's expensive, but it's very expensive. Okay.
But I got a good education. I was happy.
No, that's good. And what made you become a nurse?
Honestly,
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
I always liked like anatomy and things like that as a little
Really?
kid. I would look through the encyclopedias of the pictures and
Get on.
so
You
forth.
actually-
So I knew I wanted to be in healthcare.
Right,
At
something.
some point, and then in high school, I decided to go into nursing.
And then as you learned that, you saw nursing might be your field.
right.
No, that's
So
great.
yeah, it's been a long time.
No, well, can I ask you a couple questions now, Dave? We're going to wind this up.
Okay.
Where did you grow up officially? I know you traveled around, I heard, as a family.
Dormont.
Okay.
With some other great people in this room. Keystone Oaks.
Yeah, I grew up in Green Tree.
Yeah, that's right. I knew you were.
Yeah, they thought we were farmers and rich people.
We thought you were jerks. That's all.
We won't talk about Dormont. It's 1 mile square.
Yeah.
And we're glad to be in and out of it.
Yes.
But we had a great high
Dormont's a
school.
good place.
And I had great shows at Hollywood Lane, so I have great memories of Dormont there.
Yeah.
So, and what did you take in school?
Everything. Shop class was my favorite, obviously.
Yeah, so you're always been handy.
Yes.
Did you play any sports?
Nothing in high school.
Yeah,
Nothing.
understand.
Younger we played football, and we played tackle football in high school outside of it with no
Yeah.
pads.
Well, did you play on the practice
Keystone
field
Oaks,
by Keystone Oaks? It
Yes.
was dirt
With
and it was
rock.
and rock. Yeah, I got injured my senior year. I hurt my ulnar nerve. I came down and I heard it. They thought I had to quit football. My arm went numb up to my shoulders, and it healed up, so I could play my senior year.
Yeah, that was a great field.
No, well, I thought you'd have memories of that. I have
Yeah.
plenty of great Dormont friends, especially the Angle family
Yes.
and others. But no, that's just great. And what did you get into as a career?
Originally,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, what you want to tell us.
I always liked home improvements, but when I was
Okay.
younger, I worked for a couple different companies that didn't work out, and I got into real estate.
Okay.
During that time, we had
Selling real estate or?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, we had our second daughter, Hannah.
Okay.
Well, we had both daughters, but when Hannah got sick,
Yeah.
one of us needed to be home
And
with her
she
all the
died
time.
of kidney disease. I only found out in the last year or so.
It was related to it. Wasn't they
Yeah,
took her
it
kidneys
was-
out and put?
Right.
Polycystic
No,
kidneys.
Yeah.
no, I understand because look I got kidney disease, didn't know I had it, had no symptoms. 1 out of 3 Americans don't have it. Get a blood test.
Yeah.
No, and it's so sad to have that and lose her that way.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
No,
not.
horrific. So you were
15
in real
months old.
estate and then you went more to home remodeling?
Yeah, I went into property management while we had her because it was easier to show properties
Maneuver around, yeah.
And at the same time, I started working on properties
Oh, okay.
that we managed, and
Yeah,
and
wheel
I'm
and
not
deal
on
a
my
little
own
bit,
and-
yeah.
yes.
And you're back to doing some of that now?
Yep.
We can say
Yep.
officially?
Yep.
He told me about a neighbor's house that had water damage and top to bottom.
Yes.
We won't get into those
100,000
details.
gallons. I'll tell you that. In a couple weeks.
That's like a lake.
Yeah.
No, very good. And they're local Bethel Park residents, so we're proud of you. Thank you for being great guests again.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for being on the first time ever. We're going to call up our next
Come
guest.
back next week.
Thank you.
All right.
Can't get rid of you now.
Not yet. Jeff, you can come up. Yeah. Jeff, I met you last year.
Good to meet you again, Al.
Tell
Good
them
to
your
see you
name.
again. My name is Jeff Smith. I am one of the organizers of the Joey Fabus superhero race.
And look at the shirt he's wearing. Another one in nice green color. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
And what can you tell us about how it's going this year?
Going well. We have luckily a really great group in addition to Dave and Cindy that help.
Well, they're part of
with
it
the
no matter what.
organize-
Yes.
Absolutely. But we have a great group of people. Kathy Fertig,
Name them all.
Tyann Neal is helping. John Horning is helping as well. And really, it's
And
just a
anybody
really
he
group
forgot,
effort.
he apologizes. We'll see you on the day.
Yeah, exactly. We have
Sorry,
a ton
I
of
gotta help you a little,
volunteers.
yes.
Yeah, lots of volunteers on race day that, it's great. They get up super early. They're there by 6 a.m., setting everything up.
What time
getting
do
the
you get
water.
there?
About 5 o'clock.
Okay, I knew you had to be early.
Yeah, got to get there early and get everything set up and ready to go. But it always turns out to be a great day for the community. We hope to have 300 to 400 people show up.
Last year was a great year.
It was beautiful. Yeah, we've
Especially-
only had 1 year of bad weather.
I remember it, yeah.
So,
We got that connection,
yeah, exactly.
and we pull it in. I want to divert a little bit. Where did you grow up?
I actually grew up in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, so I'm not a,
I used to
not a
go.
local.
We had an aunt who had relatives there, and we thought it was a country trip
Sure.
to go to Johnstown.
Yep.
We'd go on a Sunday. We'd drive up. They had a farm animals
Yeah.
and everything, and then we drive back,
Yeah.
back to Green Tree.
Yep.
So I have fond memories of Johnstown. Thank you for
Great
bringing
place
it
to
up.
grow up, yeah.
And whenever I take Casey to college at Penn State and we see Johnstown, I try to tell the story. She goes, "Dad, you tell me every time." I go, that's why I'm a dad. So, no, I have fond memories. You went to high school there?
Yeah, went to
Grew
high
up
school there, went to Penn State for college. And,
Oh, did you?
Moved to Pittsburgh right after college.
And what'd you want to be?
I really didn't care when I graduated college. Just wanted to do something.
And what did you do?
I started working for an insurance company right out of college and kind of stayed in that industry ever since.
What insurance company?
So right now I'm with New York Life.
Okay.
I don't sell insurance or anything like that, so I'm not going to hit you up for money.
That's all right.
More on the business.
I got laid off from the Pittsburgh Press in 1987, April Fool's Day. It was no joke. 57 got laid off. We thought it was permanent, and I liked insurance, and I had it, and it was with Prudential. So I became a captive insurance agent in Washington County.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Won awards and everything, because not only do I talk, but I listen.
Yep.
And I could sell. I was selling auto, homeowners, life insurance, all kinds of different things. So
Great.
you don't have to sell me. I'm well taken care of. I learned that word no. The next one you talk to will be yes. How am I doing?
That's what they say.
I was brainwashed by Prudential. And you're still there doing it? Are you an admin or something? Or
No, I'm more on the financial side.
Okay. Yeah, and I got my Series 6 because I wanted to sell variable products.
Sure.
And I always like stocks
Yep.
and stuff. So.
Yeah, it's a great business to get into.
Yeah, but I only did it 28 months. You made a career out of it, so hats off to you.
Thanks.
Now, how did you get involved with the Fabuses?
So
Where do you live? Where do you live now?
I live here in Bethel. Now.
That's what I had to check, because we have that connection here.
And a friend of mine knew the Fabuses, knew Joey's story.
Friend of a friend,
hadn't
and you're
met
in.
them. Yeah, so mentioned after Joey passed away, she mentioned that Fabuses were looking to consider a race or something like that. I had a little bit of experience directing other races. So
Are you
I
a
just
runner?
volunteered. I am, yeah.
You look like a runner, so
thank you.
yes.
Thank
Well, yeah, that's a compliment. I played baseball and football, so
You look like a baseball player.
thank you. I was a great pitcher. No, so that's why you're doing this and
Yeah.
helping out.
Yeah, I like I said.
And you were touched by how Joey died at 8 years old.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think back then the whole community rallied
Yeah, and
together.
still do.
And still do.
And
Yeah,
I
so that's why
thank
it's
all
great
of
to be
you
part
for
of it.
coming, and participating in this great Joey Fabus, 5K 1 mile run
Yep.
with superheroes. Love the superheroes.
Yeah, the more people we get to come out, the better. The idea is to raise not only funds, which is
$25.
Yeah,
Come on out,
to sign up
parents.
is $25. It goes up at the end of August or the beginning of September to go to $30. So
Well, that's why I'm putting it
sign
out
up
there.
now and save yourself $5.
And this show should be up in a few days or next week, early
great.
part of next week.
We
So it'll
appreciate
get
the
the word out. Any other things you want to bring up about it, how they can join or what you're doing? Or?
Yeah, just go to the website jfccf.org.
You knew that very well.
There's
I like
a
that.
tab there that you can go click on 5K. That'll take you right to our registration page. All the information you need is there. So yeah, sign up and join us on the 18th, and we're hoping for a huge crowd.
No, that'd be great. And we'll be filming it, and I'll try to talk to you again.
It'd be great.
I appreciate it. And you always look wide awake then. You weren't even sleepy. You were good to go.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much,
Absolutely.
Jeff.
Thanks for the
I
support. Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Oh, you're
You have a
welcome.
great day.
Anything I can do to help, just ask.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm a ball buster naturally, so I learned how to take it. So,
I'm just defending myself.
Jim,
It's good to see you again.
nice seeing you again. Grab the mic, hold it about there. Tell them who you are.
Oh, I'm Jim Ellenbogen.
And we became friends this past year. It's like we lived parallel lives in the city of Pittsburgh.
true. It's like-
Truly, and we became best
Like
friends.
that movie, The Life of Brian.
Yes, yes, it truly is. And I asked him to come on and talk a little bit about sports. I first want to get a little of his background for some of you that don't know him. On Facebook Live, they're all focused on unsmiling Jim.
Yeah,
He doesn't smile, even though he's happy. Yeah, make sure we got to follow orders because you're not sounding.
Oh, I'm sorry. How's
Yeah,
that?
yeah, we got to do that. He shook his head and he put the thumb
Is that
up.
good?
Josh is in charge, and he's a rookie here at BPTV, so we appreciate him.
Well, you know where the non-smiling thing comes from?
Tell us.
Well, you see, I was raised with all boys, all brothers.
How many?
All uncles, 5,
5 brothers.
right? So my mom, God rest her, told me years ago that one of these days you're going to get yours in spades, which,
Yeah, she was right.
well, now I have no boys, all girls, and all granddaughters. So now I'm surrounded by, it's like I reproduced my wife like
5
umpteen
times.
The little ones are like her too. Just
Yeah.
like I told you, the 3-year-old came in us the other day and told me,
Right.
Pap, change the channel or I'm leaving.
He only has an 80-inch screen to watch sports
Yes.
and other stuff.
And other stuff. Until they come and then they,
Well, you have a swimming pool that you don't swim in it because they're in it.
exactly. You know, I built my bar downstairs years ago, and now that my daughters are all grown, I'm the cabana boy. You know, they're
Dad,
swimming.
we need this.
Well, that's exactly how it goes.
Can you make an appletini?
And people, or green tea. That's
Yeah, green tea
and
every
people wonder
day.
why I don't smile.
I understand. No, it's only natural.
I-
And well, since we got a little family in there, how many daughters do you have?
2.
Okay. How many granddaughters?
2.
Okay. Well,
But I have half a dozen nieces that camp out too. I'm like the
Nieces, too?
Oh yeah, I'm the patriarch of all of them. They're all
so
girls.
that gruff exterior you put out, you're really a softie inside.
With them I am, but
Okay.
they act, you know, it's like a dog that's been beat with a stick so many times,
Yeah.
and then somebody walks by the porch. It's kind
He
of like
growls
that.
and bites.
Right.
Understand, old dog. All right, we'll carry on. For some of the fans that I have, tell them where you grew up
Well, I grew up in Lawrenceville before it was where people want to go.
before it got yuppied up.
Yeah, I always tell people the Lawrenceville I grew up in, the people that go there now would have never went there. So,
No, they had certain streets, certain people weren't allowed to cross.
yeah, it was very ethnic, and in those days, the city of Pittsburgh was defined by wards, not by neighborhoods.
Right. No, the great history of that.
Right, and each ward had its own ethnicity. Like, for instance, people talk about Lawrenceville, but
Right.
Lawrenceville at that time was 6th Ward, which were people of all Polish descent.
Sure.
9th Ward, which they were all Ukrainians, Polish,
Right.
Slavic
Hungarians, yeah.
people. And then when you crossed Stanton Avenue,
That's you.
the Irish.
Right.
And then when you went up to the other side, the Jewish people. And then when you
Right.
went in the Morningside, we always said the Morningside. Everyone in Morningside in my day was half Irish and half Italian.
Get out. No, that's wild.
Everybody.
Well, I was born in the Hill District way back when, 105 Pride Street. Now it's the emergency room of Mercy Hospital. They took the grandparents home, but that's where I spent the first
That's
year
when
of
you
my
moved
life.
to the country, right?
Well, I moved to Oakland, then I moved to the country in Greentree at 2 years old. I actually have a memory. I lived on a dead-end street at the time.
No kidding.
I remember being out at 4 years old. My parents let me walk out to the other kids that were playing. There were 2 boys in another house, another single guy and girls. They let me walk out at 4, and I have a memory of walking around the streets on my side of the street looking for the kids.
Oh, wow.
And it just stuck with me. Then Ryan Holmes came in right before I was a teenager, bought 1.5 miles of land that was farmland, and they put a couple hundred houses there.
Oh, wow.
And I had a paper route how to deliver those houses. So that's my little story. So were you ever a paper boy?
Actually, there was a gentleman that lived across the street from us that was a driver.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually a paper boy, but what we would do, we were young kids, we would stand
On a corner.
at Pitt Stadium. We would sell
Oh, okay.
newspapers for the football games, and I could still
Well, some of those route men and drivers
Yeah.
had like quasi-paper routes.
we'd stand there. I remember the papers were 7 cents, and we got to keep 2 cents of it. We'd stand there all.
He actually got his 2 cents worth.
Yeah, but that's true. That's what we would do. He would load up his truck, before the Pitt games, and in those days the Steelers played there as well.
No, I worked with those Teamsters, and my department was the mailing room that did the comics and stacked the bundles. For some reason, they were asking for papers all the time. And I asked a couple guys, and they go, "We're selling them out there." I go,
Yeah.
"Go see my boss." I didn't want to get fired. That's what they were
Yeah,
doing.
that's what they were doing. Yeah, and they.
Newspapers
Yeah,
were popular, and they were so valuable.
But you figure, you'd have 50,000 people in Oakland on a morning, and they had a kid on every corner.
Yeah.
It's just like the movies.
No, and it was one of the greatest things. I was a shy kid. I had to talk and collect money. Then I found out some people would hide for $1 or $2. So my route manager goes, "Alan, just go out another day." And I caught them all. I went on another day.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
How
right?
about that? That's how they are. So You play any sports growing up with 5 brothers?
Yeah, I played a lot of sports. You know, it was interesting too because I started out playing baseball, and my brother, the one that was the next one older than me,
Right.
was like all-star.
Super, natural
everything.
player.
I made every single all-star team, but all people would say was he was better than me.
Is that what they'd say?
I'm telling you.
Well, that made you more determined.
Well, you know who my coach was?
No.
It was Frank Schmeisek.
You know what? Frank Smizek and my dad were best friends, and they were referees. He was a great principal, and Frank had a sort of grouchy brother that was a famous writer, Bob Smizek, but Frank was the best.
Right. He actually saved my integrity because a friend of my father said to me that he asked about. He goes, "What happened to them Ellenbogen boys? They were good." And I said, "Did he say boys?" He just say my brother.
No, that means so much. And I remember him refereeing with my dad.
No,
And
he was a great coach.
He was just great, and they were fair to the kids. And, you know, if they made a mistake on a call, they'd say, "We'll make it up the next time and we won't do it again." And they'd try to referee perfectly. My dad would say, "If you notice me and Frank during a game, we're not doing our job."
Well, in those days, there were so many pickup games in the street.
Right.
So many kids played
You
ball.
didn't need a uniform.
But the thing is, that's what made the competition
Better.
when you got into the regular leagues with the uniforms and stuff, because there were so many good kids from just playing it. That's all we did.
Well, here's me from Lily White Green Tree with my dad. He refereed City League championships and other games. I knew about the house, Westinghouse. I knew about Shenley, Fifth. I knew about Alderdice. I knew all those schools because guess who got dragged around to go to the games?
Right.
Yeah. And I met some of the greatest, even like Maurice Lucas, Jeep Kelly, all these type of guys. I forget 90% of the names.
Yeah, I remember all those guys. A lot of my friends have played in those basketball leagues.
And they were some of the best athletes around and went to the pros.
Oh, yes. Mhm.
You know, which is so cool, and yet it's disrespected. It's like,
Yeah, they don't. I mean, this city, well, we both grew up here.
Yeah.
But the city has changed so much that just a lot of that is
Yeah, with what's
just
happening.
lost,
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
always say that original Pittsburghers never called this the burr.
No, I still don't.
I don't either. I hear people say that. I'm like, we never said that.
Yeah.
So-
Well, then they say, "Are you a Yinzer?" I go, "You got to explain that to me."
But the funny thing about it is the part of time that I came from, we said Yuns. We didn't say Yins.
Yeah.
So they have it all
Well, it's about the PR and the media.
right.
You know.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
So, where'd you graduate from?
High school?
Yeah.
I went to Peabody High School.
Okay, I just was checking. I wasn't sure if you traveled around like
It was
some
a
of my
big high
friends.
school then. I mean, when I went to Peabody, it had 3,800 kids.
Really?
Now it has a couple hundred. from
I
what
won't ask
understand.
when you went there, but we're good.
In the as my granddaughter says, in the before time.
Yeah. Well, I tell them I was going to high school when the dinosaurs were coming out of the mud and going on the land. And that's how simple it is. So they believe me. And they don't want to argue. So did you go to college?
I did.
Where at?
University of Pittsburgh.
Nice. And what were you going in there for?
I studied economics and finance and statistics.
You were interested in that?
I was, and then because of my jobs, I had other education. in
Well,
other
before,
areas.
I'm not going to get into it deeply, but tell them about your family a little bit and some of the reputations with judges and political people.
Well, I come from a very political family that probably,
Say your last name again.
Ellenbogen is my last name. And our family was involved in politics in this country since the 1920s. We had Congressman Henry Ellenbogen, the president judge of common police courts
Wow.
was my grandfather.
What a legacy that
We've
you
had-
had to live up to.
Local senators, ward chairman, you name it. And even myself, I was an Allegheny County.
Hold that up a
Oh, I'm
little.
sorry. I was
Yeah.
an Allegheny County councilman for a decade.
Wow, I didn't realize that long with all that we talked about.
Yeah,
That's a
and-
long time.
People knew the name, and
I heard the name.
Well, I got dragged into it because they wanted to use my name, and
Sure.
you know,
That's Pittsburgh.
yeah,
Definitely.
it's changed a lot even politically now.
I've seen it.
Yeah, now
We won't talk about it. It's
You know what I always say about an honest politician?
No.
An honest politician is a politician when he's bought, he stays bought.
There you go, folks.
Nowadays, you got to back out of the room. You don't know what, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, I'll just mention we have legal bribery called lobbyists,
Yeah, well,
and I'll leave
I'll
it at
let
that.
you have that one.
I'll leave it at
I
that.
always
That's
tell-
my opinion
Hey, after
on a
it-
sports show.
After a decade of being a renegade, I always tell people, if you find me hung, I didn't do it.
Right. No, that makes sense. That's a great statement. All right, so you've gotten into politics, you have a legacy to live up to. You want to talk any local sports like Steelers or anything?
Yeah,
'Cause
we can talk about
How much
Steelers.
time we got there? Oh, man, we
talk
can
about
handle
Steelers.
this.
What do you think about this quarterback thing?
Here's
what's
how
gonna
simple
happen?
it is. The problem with the Steelers maintaining never losing season is Dan Rooney gave the team the art the third. The problem with the Steelers goes to leadership. I got to put it on them. Art Rooney, the senior, was a legend.
Oh, yeah.
But how come he only hired drunken coaches and we played tough football? We only won one playoff game before he let Dan take over, and look what happened with what Dan did from 69 on. We're legendary. We have the most wins since that time than any team. So to me, I go to Art Rooney and his legacy, what he's doing.
Art Rooney Sr. was the coolest guy.
He was
I
a
ever
great
knew.
man.
In fact, I had a friend of mine who smoked these cheap 39
The ones
cent-
they chewed on?
Right. And he was smoking one, and we're standing there, and here comes Art Rooney Sr., and he looked at him, he said, "Hey, kid." And he pulled it out of his mouth, and he gave him one of his expensive
Big
cigars. He goes,
stogie.
Smoke this, you'll
Yeah.
live longer.
Well, you know what people don't realize, what a great athlete he was. He could have maybe even played pro baseball, I heard.
Oh, he-
was a boxer, football guy,
Horse
everything.
racing. But the thing is he loved the regular people.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't uncommon to see
He was
him.
a true man of the people.
Right, he'd be in the Grant Street bar in Millville playing cards and stuff. He was
Right.
just very approachable,
Right.
and very street-like, and I loved the guy.
Yeah.
Personally.
No, I'm glad you have insights with him. I never met him.
And Art Rooney Jr., I know him as well, and he is the consummate gentleman, I think.
Yeah.
I sat on the Sports and Exhibition Authority board for 12 years.
There we go. You can talk sports.
Oh,
Well, with Art, here's the thing I see. I see him more as a fan. His dad, Dan, would be at every practice. Anything happening with the Steelers, he would be there. And I don't see Art even getting any publicity like that.
I don't know. My own personal opinion is he's a businessman.
Okay.
And, you know,
And that's what I'm getting
that's
to.
his- yeah.
That-
They were different guys. you
Well,
know
it's
what I mean?
generational.
Well, yeah, it happens with a lot of families with money.
Well, look at what happens with restaurants with the second and third generation. They're out of
Exactly.
business.
The
And
narrative
we know
changes.
this with the history.
Exactly. You know, and you have to understand, when Art Rooney Sr. owned the team, imagine what it was worth compared to the money they're dealing with now.
Oh,
I mean,
not
just
even
what they're
close.
paying these guys.
Right.
So I guess you have to morph into that kind of a business person.
Right, but I'll answer your question on the quarterbacks. So they didn't have the knowledge to know a Hall of Fame quarterback was at the end of his career. They got Mason Rudolph, who was good in college, but like I tell most of my sports fans, I've said it for years, I don't pay attention to the draft because most of them don't make it. And Mason Rudolph never impressed me. He had great arm strength and touchdowns and things like that at Oklahoma State. Kudos to that. But he hasn't shown me much here. And then when he did get in with the Duck, Tomlin sort of put the Duck ahead of him, which I thought was wrong. They should have let him because he knew the system and was making progress. But after he got hit in the head by the liar Myles Garrett, you know, it changed. And I bring that out. So they got a quarterback who I like. Mitchell Trubisky, I liked him in Chicago, and they had a coach, Nagy, who should not have been a head coach. He was terrible. They misused him, had him set up wrong. He was a second pick in a draft as a quarterback, as a running, throwing quarterback. And he showed some flashes. He actually has a winning record. And we got him, and I liked the pick because I said, with how we coach up players and, you know, have resources that we can get good linemen, because we needed a line last year, in case they didn't notice. How do you put a starting guard in college as a starting center in the pros? It's faster, blocking's different, Footwork's different. I played center. He was terrible. He even admitted he's having fun as a guard. So they got Trubisky. I like it, and they signed him to a 2-year deal. And then I thought that he would be our quarterback. And then the Kenny Pickett, who it took 6 years to become great, nothing I take away from him. Coach Whipple made him into a championship quarterback. But let me explain to all my friends. I saw Danny Marino play. He's not even close to the caliber of Danny Marino. He's Kenny Pickett, and I don't know if he'll make it or not. He may be able to make the plays. He made great plays in college, and they won, but they weren't a great team. I'll shut up now.
No, that's okay. Regardless of who starts from this group of quarterbacks, we will have the worst quarterback in the conference, no matter what happens.
Yes.
These guys have not proved to be great yet.
Thank you.
And I will say this, with a brand new mixed bag of an offensive line,
Right. They should be better.
they're going to spend a lot of time on their backside.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind.
Well, here's the thing. If you're new and you're in the pros, it takes time to you learn about the speed of the game. And you have different footwork and techniques that they teach you to counteract that.
If you look at the great lines,
Yes, and I do.
Tom Brady's line with Mankins and those, when he was in it, there's always got to be one or two guys up there that chain it
Right.
and lead.
Look at us with Mike Webster,
Exactly. There's nobody on this line,
Darmani Dawson.
oh my God, all the way back to the Ranger. when
Yeah.
He played center.
Yeah,
You know, there's nobody has stepped up that can do that
right.
yet. So,
We will see.
yeah.
No, I'm worried about him because Deshaun Watson, who knows what will happen with him, but he's a better quarterback than our quarterbacks.
There's no
and,
question
And they
about
have
it.
better lines, like Cleveland on paper. I'm not a fan of Cleveland because they always revert back to the mean. They always go back to how terrible they are.
If you look at the quarterbacks in the league, we're not even in the top
Oh,
10.
no.
I mean, can you imagine, these
Imagine if we were out west.
guys, with Mahomes and them?
Yeah. Look at how they got great offenses and defenses. We got the highest paid defense in the league, and if we're not in the top 5, it'll be disappointing.
See, and this is where me and Tomlin breach. He's a big 3-guy rush, 4-line.
Yeah.
You know what? The
4-3.
success of the Steelers, 4-3. You know what I mean? When you don't have tackles that can put pressure on these guys,
Right.
like Mahomes and them, who can run out of the pocket and get out of there,
Yeah.
they're going to destroy you.
Your analogy's great because just think of Steel Curtain
Exactly.
and how great were our linebackers.
2 rushed, 2 stayed home.
Yeah.
But you've seen last year, they just,
Oh,
by the time
hold
they
it.
got to the line,
Let me stop you. We were always known for our run defense. Last in the league, first time ever. How can you rate the Steelers as a good team?
You have the best linebacker in the
Yeah,
entire
T.J.
league,
Watt, yeah.
And you have other guys back there. that are
Cam
great.
Hayward, he signs a contract and had a great year.
Exactly, but the problem is he's the only one up front that can do anything. They're triple
Yeah.
teaming him.
Right,
And
right,
then some teams will put 2 tight ends in or a fullback, and the other guys just,
right.
and you see what happens. They just tear it
No,
up.
I know. So that's why I'm not 100% with the total team.
Can they win games? Yeah, but
I'm looking
We'll see.
between 8 and 10 games, but I don't know how the quarterback play will be. Like, I'm hopeful that Trubisky can show some flashes of brilliance and run Canada's offense.
with that line, I personally think success is going to be important. You got to get out of the pocket, and that's where Rudolph lacks. I mean, I've heard every commentary guy say
Yeah.
that he's doing great, but he's in the pocket. You're going to have to run for your life with that line, and
Hold it. How come you're so smart? Have you seen any football games? What are the Steeler insiders seeing when everything is good at the camp? How can everything be good when you have rookies there?
well, you know what? Not to disparage any media guys, but sometimes they like to be encouraging and stuff.
Right.
It's good
But
for
I'd
the
rather
city.
be realistic with what we have, because we want to know who's going to be playing and
You
starting.
know the expression, you'll find out soon enough.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we could have some fun and get the city all hyped up. And
No,
it's good for
on
business.
on that note, we're going to have to wind this show up. I'm honored that everybody could be watching this show, our first on-location show in Bethel Park at the Bethel Park Historical Society. So it was an honor to be here. I had great guests. Jim, thank you for closing out the show.
for having
I
me.
knew we could handle it. And to all of you, stay Joey strong.